With the end of the season so close, has this team or is this team subconsciously letting down?
Definitely not consciously, and to be honest, I don't even think subconsciously. I think there are a lot of different things going on that we need to improve on that are factoring into our inconsistencies. But I don't think it's because we want to just cruise, into the playoffs and then think that we can just push a button and turn it on. Guys are genuinely, concerned, frustrated, want to turn things around. But we're in the NBA, and other teams aren't just going to let you do what you want to do when you want to do it. And we have to, kind of gain that ability back to, enforce our will upon other teams, and that's something we haven't been able to do lately.
So there is a little bit of frustration, though.
Of course, you know, we felt like going out on this road trip, even though there were going to be 5 tough games against teams that play relatively well on their home court. By any stretch of the imagination, we didn't go into it thinking we were going to lose 3 games. So there's frustration from that perspective. And just overall frustration that we're not playing the way we'd like to play, but we aren't going to allow that to bubble over and become something that derails us from still where we're trying to go. We know that we aren't doing the things we'd like to do right now, but we have the opportunity, and we still want to take advantage of the opportunity to find a way to play our best basketball at the right time.
Fish, you won a title last year with Andrew playing like 20 minutes, and not going for huge numbers in the postseason. Is there anything you can point to as to why you played better without him last season than you are right now?
No, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe the timing of guys' injuries and when they're out of the lineup, and we're a team, so even though you might be able to compare certain stretches of time, if a guy missed 10 games last year and he missed 10 games this year, when that happened, how that happened, who else was injured, how the team's playing overall, all those things factored in. We didn't necessarily expect to play as well as we did when Kobe was out. We just figured out a way to do it and get it done. And right now we aren't doing that. We aren't figuring out and really thinking through, how do we, be successful? How do we do the things we need to do without, Andrew in the lineup? And Andrew had really started to, figure some things out in terms of physically being present and defensively making some things happen and really being a big presence in the paint. And that's something that we're missing right now, and our big guys are being asked to do a lot. And so, there are a lot of different things, that are going on, but, we don't plan on offering any excuses and won't ever, to be honest. We're just going to keep going at it one day at a time, and, we believe we will figure it out. That's what we're going to do.
Fish, with the 7 games left in the year, do you start to look at these as sort of practice for the playoffs? Because you can't flip the switch on when the playoffs start. Do you start to kind of games against Utah, San Antonio, whatnot, do you start to approach those as playoff type games?
When they basically are, because we're playing against teams that will be in the playoffs, and even going on this road trip, this past 8 or 9 days, we knew that Oklahoma City and San Antonio and teams like that would be in the postseason, and there were games that we were looking forward to, and so we see it the same way. Anytime you play against Utah, teams that you've played against in the playoffs in recent years, obviously the history we have with the Spurs, then Denver follows next Thursday. You're playing against the teams that, the expectations we have to win another championship, we're going to have to see them again down the line. So that doesn't necessarily mean that what happens tells the future, but obviously we want to come out and play better than we've been playing.
I was saying that, because we'll talk about the concept of they're waiting to flip a switch and all that, but Pat was talking about it as a process and the danger of that attitude that, when we want to, we can turn it on. Would you agree with that idea that it is a process and not something that can happen in a game when you just decide that you're going to play better?
Yeah, no, it definitely is a process, and I think that's what we're finding, and maybe and where some of the frustration is coming from is I think we genuinely believe that we're not sitting around waiting to just play better when the playoffs start. We actually want to play better, But it is a process, and there are times where we've taken a step forward and then we've gotten knocked back. And we've taken a couple steps forward by, getting us 7 or 8 games, where we've played a little bit better, and then we have the type of trip we had where we lose, 3 out of 5. And so it's definitely a process, and it's just not easy to do what we're trying to do.